Hi, friends. I'm your host, Analia Pucciarella, and you're listening to Brightly Becoming Podcast. I created this with a goal that anyone who listened could feel a little more seen and heard, no matter what season of life they're in. Becoming who you're called to be isn't easy, and it's a little messy. So let's navigate the beautiful process of becoming together. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a beautiful weekend, a great day. Today, we are talking about how to handle disappointment. This is something that has not come easily for me whatsoever. Disappointment is something I really struggle with. And in the long run, I have over time definitely tried not to get my hopes up over things, or specifically waited to celebrate something until I knew it was real, until I knew it was true. And this is all because of that fear of being disappointed. We all have different parts of ourselves. And some of us have protective parts that try to keep us from feeling disappointment. And so we put up coping mechanisms, we put up walls, we put up our defenses. For me personally, there have been multiple times where I have faced disappointment as a Christian and have taken it as, oh my gosh, this is the end of the world. This feels horrible. I'm not going to recover from this. But every no from God is just leading you down a different path. And He's showing you that He has something better for you. Let me explain. So, I absolutely love my job. I've talked about it, I think just once or twice on this podcast. I am so blessed to be able to do what I love and be paid for it and get to hear people's incredible redemption stories and stories of who they are and everything that they've worked so hard to become. I've mentioned I get the opportunity to speak with multiple Christians. So all in all, last week, actually, I kind of let my ego get to me a little bit. I saw that I was on the top of the leaderboard and I had so much excitement. I had just made a really incredible relationship with one of the cast members that I signed on to the network, and I was very excited for them. And unfortunately, they decided that they weren't going to go through anymore. And I felt defeated. I felt like, oh my gosh. I immediately turned inward, right? I was like, what did I do wrong? Why is this person changing their mind? It must have been something I did. Instead of just putting my ego aside to see that maybe this person had something come up that was personal and they were unable to share that with me, I took it upon myself to look inward and say, this has to be something I did wrong. Why? Well, I don't know. I think I was just so excited. This is my first month in my new job. I've already been successful due to God, but I let my ego get in the way. I let my flesh get in the way. My flesh wanted something and my spirit knew that we needed to want something else, right? The path of wanting what I originally wanted was not pure. It wasn't out of just being excited. It was about being able to say I was at the top, being able to use my ego then. So yeah, that was a little bit of a bruise to my ego, but it was a growth moment for me. And I realized that although I didn't come in first place on the leaderboard my first month, I still came in third. And as someone who not only has multiple different chronic illnesses, but has been unemployed for a couple years now, just recently rehired due to my health issues and due to circumstances, that is a huge win for me. I don't need to be number one, right? So a leaderboard, yes, it's great to track your progress, but I think it's so easy to then be so hard on ourselves and think that we're worthless based on our productivity. I've talked about that before. In this specific moment, I realized that God was keeping me humble. I'm sure a lot of you who are listening have experienced something like this before where God kept you humble. And maybe it hurt and it didn't look pretty, but in the long run, it was what you needed and God knew that you needed it. Similar to my experience, I was reminded that being on top is not everything. I see my progress. God knows how hard I'm working, and that is what matters at the end of the day, not a leaderboard, not getting first place. Although that's nice, and we can still celebrate those wins when they happen. If they don't happen, we have to be okay with that. I think disappointment is just something that a lot of us, all of us, we're human, all of us go through. But I think it's about resilience. I think it's about bouncing back from these little minor setbacks. I wouldn't even want to call this a setback. I do think the customer needing to refund was truly due to their financial situation. And they didn't owe me an explanation really as to why. I should have just let it go. But my ego, told me, oh, you must have done something wrong. They changed their mind because of you, right? The enemy was getting in my head. Then it's like you just need to silence every voice in your head that is not yours and is not from God. That prayer, that is so powerful. Let me tell you, that prayer has been so powerful for me as someone who deals with imposter syndrome occasionally, from time to time, and not speaking to myself as kindly as I would have liked to speak to myself in the past. That prayer has been huge for me. I want to reflect on my past for a second. I don't do this often. I try not to look back, but looking at all the no's that I've had in my life and where they've led is so beautiful. I remember 2 years ago, I was so excited that I had an opportunity to be potentially hired at my dream boutique. I was going to be doing social media. I was going to be modeling, and I was so excited. And I was like, God, if this is your will, let it be done. And if not, take it away from me. Well, it was very quickly taken away from me. And of course, I felt disappointed. But what if we view disappointment as just a not yet? What if we viewed every no as a not yet? What if we viewed every setback as a not yet, or I have something better in store for you? What if we changed the narrative? Yes, disappointment is like a punch to the gut. Trust me, I am that person who has felt like the world is over when I've become disappointed. But what I've learned in my 24 years of life is that feelings that are uncomfortable, they pass. Feelings that are uncomfortable are not unsafe. Usually not unsafe. It's okay to be uncomfortable, and being uncomfortable is where you grow. So if you're taking a hit to your ego, let it happen. I know you want to run. I know you don't want to sit in that feeling, but it's important that you do, because you need to take what you're supposed to take out of it, no matter how uncomfortable it may feel. It's not always easy admitting when we're wrong. It's not always easy admitting, oh, I did that, not the greatest that I could have, or I wish I went a different route. I wish I didn't say that, right? That's human in us to not want to admit when we do the wrong thing. Your next no that you get, or the current no you've gotten that you're sitting in, your yes is right around the corner. And this applies to so many areas of your life. So many areas of our life. I mean, think about it. How many no's do you have to get through to find your person that you want to spend the rest of your life with? How many no's do you have to go through before you're accepted for your dream job? That's the trajectory of our lives. No's lead to yeses later on, and it's important that we see that and we don't get so caught up in feeling disappointed. Practicing resilience in times where we want to let disappointment take us down and get the best of us, you're only letting the enemy win if you do that. It's okay to be human and sit in it for a little bit and acknowledge your feelings and the disappointment that you're experiencing. But don't stay there. Because if you stay there, you're going to miss what's ahead for you. You're going to miss all the yeses that you can't see, all the people that you have yet to meet, all because of a no. So next time you hear the word no, just think of the true message behind that no. That it doesn't mean no forever, it just means not this one, or not yet. Or even better, I have something better in store for you. Thank you for listening. I would love if you shared your story and your feelings on this week's episode in the comments. Remember, it doesn't matter what season of life you're in, because you're not behind, you're becoming. I'm really proud of you, and I'm right there with you. I'll see you next week.